Okay,
I
so
shared the
what
screenshot
I
in.
understand is the same problem you solved in the class, we have to solve it alone, a house, and then send it to you again, right?
Yes, like for example, rectangular plate, triangular plate, or circular plate. Okay, then that one problem related to the water and oil. Okay, that is it. You don't need to go to the other complicated like the curved surfaces, etc. We don't need to go for that. Okay, whatever I just remember, whatever I'm sharing in the screenshot in the group, you just try to solve that one.
Uh, so to make it more clear, so to, like for example, today you're going to solve some problems, right?
Yes,
About the new session in chapter 2. So the
yes.
same problem you solve in the class, the same problem, the same numbers, we go back home, we solve it again with ourselves, and then we send it
Mm,
to you, right?
not same problem, similar problem. This is, I will
Okay.
share the screenshots of those questions, which are
Uh,
similar to what we solved in the class.
okay, okay.
Okay,
Now it's clear. Thank you so much.
okay. I'm sharing the same for your reference, but you need to solve the similar problems. Okay, and if I ask for the same, then you need to solve for the same. Okay, which is unsolved in the class. Okay, but I will just explain in the class. Okay, there is a
Okay,
question.
thank you so much, doctor.
Okay, there is a question where one student asked me to solve in the class. So, okay, just before going to the that problem, I hope it is clear to you this problem, right? In which one layer of oil is there, and then we have some water, right? Okay, and I explained this in the we have zero pressure here, then this much is rho 1 g h1. Okay, then we have rho 2 gh2 plus rho 1 gh1. Do you remember this? This was h1. Okay, and based on that we need to consider the different sections and solve the area. Can you get the area of these three shapes? Whether it is difficult to
Yes.
get the area of this shape?
No, it's easy.
Easy, right? Only need to know the what is the
Formula.
yes for area. See, for rectangle it is this. What is this much from 0 to this value? Say for example, this value is what?
P1.
Yes. So P1. This is a P2. Okay. So from here to here, it is P1 minus 0, right? From this, for this triangle, what is the base? P2 minus P1. What will be the height for this? This will be the H2. Okay, what will be the height for this triangle? H1 minus H2 or directly H1. This one, if it is, this is H1. It's very simple. You don't just need to calculate the area and multiply with the width given. Width is the third dimension. See if this container is like this, so this width is given. You need to consider that and calculate the area because it is asked to calculate the forces acting on this surface, side surface. So you can consider this as a vertical plate immersed in the water or fluids of different density. Okay, so this is a solved problem. Okay, Only few students have solved and sent. So I'm giving you another chance to send before the afternoon class. Those who have not sent.
Like me, Doctor, yesterday I said 2 questions, but they are not similar to the question that you solved in the class. So I have to choose another question and solve again.
Okay, I will limit you. Just solve this problem and send. No problem. No, just forget other problems. If you solve that, it is better for you. If you don't solve, I don't have any problem. But solve this problem.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm solving another problem. When a student requests to explain that, at least I will try to explain. You try to solve yourself. I have shared this problem as well. So in that, it is given that there is a rectangular plate. Okay, which is immersed in the water. This is 3 meter, or say, and don't remember this. This is 1 or 2 meters. Okay. Now what is given? The shortest distance from the free surface is 1 meter, and the highest distance from the free surface is given 2 meters. This angle usually is given, right? But in this case, this theta is not given. This is the free surface. Okay. Now we need to find out theta to solve this problem. Are you getting this? Everything is given. Only thing is that usually theta will be given, right? So here theta is not given. How to get the theta value here? So for that, what you do, you will make a small line here. Okay. Now, can you tell me this height? From
It's
this
1, Doctor.
point,
1.
1. How you calculated? This is 2, right? Minus 1, right? So this will remain. This is 1 meter. Am I right? This is 1 meter. Is that clear? What is this angle? What is the name, not value? Is it same as theta?
Yes.
See, if you have two parallel lines and an angle like this, then this angle will be same, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is called as corresponding angle. Okay, so this is theta. Okay, and what is the length of this line? It is this side, right? So this is 3 meters. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
What is sine theta?
1/3.
1/3. Opposite divided by hypotenuse, right? 1/3. Okay. So for the in the formula, we need this value, right? Sine theta 1/3. Okay. Or in one formula, we need required sine square theta. What is sine square theta? 1/9, right? 1 square is 1, 3 square is 9. 1/3 square, that is 1/9. Is this clear now?
Yes,
So we
yes.
have sine theta, we have sine square theta. Now, can you solve this now? So we need to get the G value. We need the P position. So if we start from this, we say this point is Y. This is Y bar. And this distance is Y star, right?
Doctor, how we can find Y value?
1 is given, right? So
Given?
this is X, right? Our X.
Yes.
Okay, what is X divided by Y is equal to
Sine theta.
this is H bar and this one is H star. H bar over Y bar is equal to H star over Y star equals to sine theta. X opposite divided by hypotenuse, opposite divided by hypotenuse, opposite divided by hypotenuse. You can say 3 different triangles. So theta is same. Triangles X divided by Y, H bar divided by Y bar, or H star divided by Y star. They will be same. Now X is given 1. Okay. X is given 1 divided by. So how much will be the value of Y? 1 divided by Y is equal to sine theta, which is equal to 1 by 3. So what is Y? 3.
3.
Okay, now you got Y. Okay. Now what is Y bar? So Y bar is equal to Y plus
1.5.
B by 2, right? 3 by 2. Am I right? G point is always at the middle for rectangle. So if this is given 3, then it is 3 by 2 plus Y. So what is Y bar? Y bar is equal to Y plus 3 by 2. So it will be 4.5. Is this clear? Because 3 plus 3 by 2 is 1.5. So 3 plus 1.5 is 4.5. Now how to get H star, H bar, H bar? H bar over Y bar is equal to sine theta. Am I right?
Yes, yes, Doctor.
So what is H bar equals to? Y bar into sine theta.
Yes. So 3 or
4.5 into 1 over 3.
yes.
So how much it will be? 1.5 meter.
1.5, yes.
So like that you need to solve. Okay.
Okay,
So
clear.
this is also a solved problem.
Yes.
Okay. Only thing is that in this, instead of theta, this 1 meter and 2 meter is given. So you need to find out the theta or sine theta.
Okay, clear, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so now we are going to start our second chapter. Remember that our course, the name of the course is thermofluids. Okay, that means it is divided in two different courses. One is related to the fluid mechanics and the second one is related to thermodynamics. Okay, two courses are combined in one course, that is thermofluids. So in thermofluids, we have the fluid mechanics. Okay, you might have studied mechanics already. So you know that mechanics has two branches. What are the two branches of mechanics? One
Dynamic
is
and static.
Static and dynamics.
static and dynamic. Okay, so if you go back and study again, you will find that our first chapter was related to the static forces related to the fluid. If you remember, hydrostatic forces we calculated, right? Hydrostatic pressure we calculated. So when the fluid was at rest, we calculated the forces acting on the different planes. So our first chapter was related to the static. Okay, if you remember this. Okay, this is fluid at rest, right? So if it has height h, so we say that pressure is equal to rho gh, and force, static force is equal to rho gh into a. Like this we calculated, right? So this was our fluid static or hydrostatic. Now in dynamics we have again two branches. What are the two branches? Yes.
Rigid bodies and liquids and gases.
No, dynamics. We have kinematic and kinetic. See, mechanics can be divided into static and dynamics. Dynamics can be again classified into two branches, kinematics and kinetics. Kinematics means it is related to the motion. Okay, it is related to the motion, whereas kinetics is related to the forces on moving components. Forces, see, in this case only motion will be studied, no mention of forces causing this motion. Whereas in kinetics we have the analysis of forces. Okay, when we study dynamics, that means we will study both motion and forces. We are, if are saying only kinetic, then it will be related to the forces causing motion. Whereas here kinematics means types of motions. Okay, or you can say it is related to just flow. Kinematics of. So what comes in the motion? It comes the velocity and acceleration, right? Motion, so velocity, acceleration, etc. Whereas here in kinetics it comes the forces, different forces acting on the fluid. Okay, but fluid in motion. Here, fluid in static. So don't get confused with this force and the forces here. Okay, this is the forces in the static. So we will call this as the hydrostatic force. Okay, or the field is static. Now kinetic means the forces on moving bodies or forces associated to the moving bodies or in motion. Is that clear? So our first chapter was based on this. Now we are going to start our second chapter related to the kinematics. Then we'll go to the front. Now, in this case, what we studied pressure and static forces, right? Pressure and static forces. See this P and F simply. Pressure and static forces. In the second, we will study the conservation of mass. This is related to the conservation of mass. It is also called as in fluid mechanics continuity equation. So we'll study the continuity equation in the kinematics. Then we have the Bernoulli's equation and Euler's equation or energy equation, momentum equations. Those we will study in the kinetics chapter. That will be the our third chapter. Okay, but second chapter is based on the kinematics of motion fluid. Is this clear?
Yes, clear.
Yes, doctor, yes.
Okay. Now, so we are starting our second chapter that is related to the continuity motion of the flow or fluid. Now, before going ahead, we need to first understand the approach. Approach in the fluid mechanics or fluid kinematics or in fluid dynamics. There are two types of approaches to study the fluid flow. Okay. One thing is that you concentrate on a particle and study where this particle is going. Okay. You track this wherever it is going. Okay. Like in bike racing or marathon running or any other things, what you do, you put a chip on some shoes or etc., or you look to a particular person how fast it is moving. Okay. Or if you are playing football, you are concentrating on the football, right, where it is going. Okay. So you choose a particle, you select a particle and check how it is flowing in a particular path. Okay, what is the path, what is the velocity, okay, how it is changing its direction. So that is called as Lagrangian this approach is called as Lagrangian approach. In the second thing, in the second approach, what you do, you fix a position, and check and see what particles are coming and going inside that. Okay, so here a particle is fixed and it is tracked, whereas in second approach a location is fixed and checked what particles and how particles are coming in and going out. Say for example, if I chose this much area, okay, and now I am tracking all the particles coming in, all the particles in this area. So say for example, particle 1 is coming and leaving here. It's coming here and going out like this here. So if I am focusing on a particular area, for example, if I fixed a camera position, okay, so few things are coming and then going in image, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that approach is called as the this is Eulerian approach, or some also read this as Eulerian, okay, or Eulerian, whatever you pronounce, both are very common, Eulerian or Eulerian approach. Okay, so what is the difference between these two? In first, we are like a horse rider, okay, and the horse rider is tracked. Okay, see, there is another horse, it is going some other path, so he is also tracked. So if you have so many, if you have one or two, say for example, if football is there, you can easily track football, right? Because it is only one particle, you can easily track where it is going. But if you have multiple footballs in ground, can you track all the balls? Okay, so in that case, what you do, you put a fixed window or fix a particular frame or area and see what is coming. Say for example, you just concentrate on the goal post in football and see how many balls are coming in. Okay, which ball is coming, one, say first ball, second ball, third ball, okay, like that. Okay, so we have two approaches, Lagrangian and Eulerian. If number of particles are less, then you can say you can approach the Lagrangian. Okay, both are very common. Okay, but in fluid mechanics, usually Eulerian is preferred, but both are common. Okay, if number of particles are high, so we cannot focus on each individual particle, so we need to focus on particular areas. Now area will be what, how much will be the area? That will be decided by the analyst who is studying that particular flow. Okay, now I said this area I'm focusing, what particles are coming in. Now it depends whether it is small area, large area. Okay, if it is large area, then again you can say that number of particles coming in are large. Okay, I hope you have understood this Lagrangian and Eulerian approach. So we will be focusing on the Eulerian approach. So for example, if there is a pipe, okay, and flow is coming in. Okay, so will you if you are tracing this particle, then it is Lagrangian approach. But if you are focusing on this area, that how much particles are coming, what they are doing, and they are going out, then it will become Eulerian approach. Okay, if you fix area, fix place, fix space for analysis, then it is Eulerian. If you are not fixing any area, or if you are not focusing on the space, then you are focusing on the that particles or that flow. So that will become Lagrangian. So before, since I told you that this is like the kinematics of flow. So we need to study the motions. Okay. So before that, we need to study the types of flow. Types of flow. Okay. Now in this, the flow can be defined in multiple ways. Like we can say whether the flow is steady or unsteady, or flow, whether flow has a same constant velocity or the velocity of the flow is changing with distance or time. Okay. Or if the flow is going layer by layer or going in zigzag way or in not a fixed pattern. If it is going and changing its path continuously, then it is called as the turbulent type. Okay. So we'll see the different types of flows. Okay. Sometimes some particles may be going in this particular path. Okay. A path, but they are rotating about its own axis as well. Okay. Like Earth is spinning about its own earth axis as well as it is rotating around the sun, right? Okay. So it is called as like rotational flow. Okay. Earth is spinning, and sometimes if you see waters has some vortex, it is rotating and then moving ahead, rotating as well as moving. Like for example, if you hit football, what happens to football? Whether it has only one type of motion,
Two types. It rotates about its axis and
as
also
well as
rotates.
move, right?
Rotate
Okay.
it.
Yes. So sometimes it rotates about its own axis, and then by that, with that rotation, it goes ahead as well, right?
Yes.
So
Further.
like, yes. So it is like a rotational flow. It is rotating as well as moving. Okay. So like that, we will have the different types of flows. So we'll first understand the different flows. So the first difference is the first type can be called as the steady versus unsteady. So flow can be either steady or unsteady. Okay. One of them it will be. Okay. Cannot be two at one time.
Doctor, what does it
Okay.
mean? Studied and unstudied.
I'm explaining.
Okay.
Okay. So steady means if the properties are not changing with time, then it is called as steady. Okay. If properties are changing with time or parameters are changing with time, then it is called as unsteady. For example, if I have a pipe, okay, and in this pipe, if I fix a particular location, say for example at this location, okay, I'm saying any location, say velocity is, so at time t equals to 10 seconds, say after starting the flow, after 10 seconds, the velocity is say 150 meter per second. Density is say 1.2 kg per meter cube. Okay. And say at t is equal to 1000 seconds. After 1000 seconds, The velocity at this location is 150 meter per second and density is 1.2 kg per second. So what is happening here? Whether you check at any point, if the properties are same, properties means pressure, density, velocity, etc. are same at a particular location, if they are same with respect to time, they are not changing with respect to time, then it is called as the steady flow. Okay. If it is, say, for the same case at say after 1000 seconds, V is equal to 155 meter per second, rho is equal to 1.2 kg per meter cube. So what will happen? What is the meaning of this? In these two cases, if it is changing, is it changing or not? It is changing, right? Velocity is changing, 150, 155. Are not changing with the time, then it is steady. So this two, if you take these two data, then the flow is steady. If you see these two cases, then flow is unsteady. Am I right?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So this here I have shown is the called as the steady flow, because with the time properties are not changing. Okay. So usually it is written like this: dou u by dou t. What is dou means? So usually we use d for change, right? Du by dt, right?
Partial.
Yes. So this is partial derivative. Okay, because we have multiple parameters, not one variable. So in that case, we use partial derivative. So du by dt should be equal to 0, right? Not u not changing with time.
Yes.
D rho by dou rho by dou t equals to 0, or dou p by dou t equals to 0. That means simply, see, this is the mathematical expression, but simply at any location, the properties with the time should not change. If the properties are changing with time, then it is called as unsteady flow. That means it is not steady. For example, if you are standing and standing without motion, okay, or if you are using a motion which is not changing with time, if a car is moving with a speed of say 120 km per hour continuously, then it is called as steady flow. Okay, other things are also not changing. But if the speed is changing with a time, then it is unsteady flow, but at one location. Okay, if at one location, any location, you choose any location, if the properties are changing with time, then it is unsteady. If not changing, then steady. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So first was steady versus unsteady. Then we have the uniform or versus non-uniform flow. Uniform, non-uniform. This is very simple. In this case, velocity, if the velocity is not changing with space, that is distance, okay, du by ds. Say for example, now I am looking between 2 points. See, steady and steady was at different different locations. Now this is between the two places, okay, or you can say by considering it at two different locations, 1 and 2, okay. So if the velocity is not changing between 1 and 2, then it is called as whatever is the time, okay. So if at 1 and at 2, if the flow velocity at 1 is 150 meter per second and at 2 it is say 1, okay, just I will take some other values. So say this is say 350 at 1 and it is 400 at 2 in this diagram. Then and say if air is flowing, so whether it is uniform or non-uniform here now in this case,
Non-uniform.
None.
it is non-uniform, okay. If it remains 350 at 2, then it is
Uniform. Not changing.
not changing, okay. So du by ds, what is ds now? You can say this is the ds, okay. So dou u by dou s equals to 0. If change with respect to the space in velocity is 0, so see uniform non-uniform is only related to velocity. Steady and unsteady was related to time and for other parameters like pressure, density, viscosity, temperature, etc. All parameters were there in the steady and unsteady, right? Here it is related to the space only. I hope you understood this, okay? Say air is flowing in this. Can you tell me what is the type of flow here? Is it steady or unsteady?
Unsteady.
Unsteady.
Is it
Unsteady, doctor.
uniform?
Non-uniform.
Okay. So what is this case? This is unsteady non-uniform flow. Am I right?
Yes.
This is unsteady non-uniform. Is this clear? Okay. What is this then? Yes, what is this case now? I change the parameters.
Steady and
Steady and
non-uniform.
uniform.
So this is steady and
Non-uniform.
non-uniform. Is this clear?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Unsteady and uniform.
Okay. So this is unsteady and
Uniform.
uniform. Because it is not changing with space but changing with time. Okay. So you can understand the examples, right? From the examples. So unsteady means parameters are changing with the time. Uniform means only velocity changing or not changing with the space, position, different locations. Okay.
Okay, doctor.
Laminar versus turbulent. So in the laminar, if the flow is or the particles are flowing smoothly, okay, or you can say layer by layer, then it is called as laminar flow. If the particles are moving in some zigzag way, okay, then it is called as turbulent flow. Now, for example, if I have a pipe, small pipe, and if you have the small flow rate, or you can say small, it is coming at low velocity, then you will find that water is coming smoothly. You can observe this in the bathroom, etc. If you open, okay, slowly at low velocity, then the water is coming smoothly. You can see simply a rectangle, cylinder. Okay, but if you increase the velocity, what happens? Some particles are going in these different directions, right? Okay, so if you increase the velocity, the flow becomes turbulent. Okay. We will stop here. In afternoon class, we will start with again laminar and turbulent. I will explain this again, laminar and turbulent. Okay, but remember that in the laminar flow means the smooth flows. Okay, whereas if the flow has some changes in flow pattern, some particles are going randomly. If the flow is random, then that random flow is called as the turbulent flow. Okay, so please try to solve the unsolved problem that I explained related to the first chapter, and then we'll send it before the class, afternoon class. Okay, see you at 2:30.
Today, Doctor?
If you have not sent the problems of
No, I mean the class. Today?
yes, before the class.
Okay.
Okay,
Do we have to solve it, doctor?
yes, the problem related to, if you have not sent, solve that water oil problem, the inclined plate problem, and then send. Just go and see the group. I have shared some problems, screenshots. You need to solve those and send. Okay, already sent in the group the screenshots of the solved problems. You need to solve it again and then send. Okay.
Okay.